Junction, River City next station stop.
You're crazy with this heat. Credit is no good for an ocean salesman.
Board, all aboard.
Why not? What's the matter with credit?
It's old-fashioned. Charlie, you're an anvil salesman. Your firm give credit?
No, sir.
Nor anybody else.
River City next.
Cash for the merchandise. Cash for the button hooks.
Cash for the cotton goods. Cash for the hard goods.
Cash for the soft goods. Cash for the fancy goods.
Cash for the noggins and the piggins and the friggins.
Cash for the hogshead, gasket, demijohn. Cash for the crackers and the pickles and the fly.
Look, what do you talk? 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 Where do you get it? What do you talk?
You can talk, you can talk. You can bigger, you can talk. You can bigger, you can talk. You can talk, you can talk, talk. Bigger, you can talk all you want, but it's different than it was.
No, it ain't. But you gotta know the territory.
Why, the Model T boy, big trouble, the people want to go, want to get up, and go 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 22, 23 miles of gas.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Who's gonna figure there's a little bitty 2x4 kind of store anymore?
What do you talk? What do you talk?
Where do you get it? Not the Model T at all. You can get it at the store, the modular store, the present day store, the present day laundry departmentalized grocery store.
What do you talk? 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 Where do you get it? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? Where do you get it?
You can talk, you can talk. You can bigger, you can talk. You can talk, bigger. You can talk all you want, but it's different than it was.
No, it ain't. But you gotta know the territory.
Why, so you need a biscuit made trouble. You need to put the crackers in a pack. Do you need a biscuit and an airtight sanitary patch made the cracker barrel obsolete?
Cracker Barrel went out the window with the mail pouch, cup plug charred by the stove. Changed the approach of a chocolate salesman. Made it pretty hard.
No, it didn't. But you gotta know the territory.
Gone with the hogshead, casket and demijohn. Gone with the sugar barrel, milk can. Gone with the tub with the pail and tears.
Ever meet a fellow by the name of Hill?
Hell?
Hill?
No!
Just a minute.
Never heard any sales pitch Hill.
Well, he doesn't know the territory.
None of the territory.
What's the false line?
Never worries about his life.
Never worries about his
Or
life.
the Cracker Barrel being obsolete, or that you need a biscuit in an airtight sanitary package, or the Model T Ford.
Just a minute.
Never worries about his line.
Never worries about his line.
Or a doggone thing. He's just a baby, bell-ring, big all-break, go necker, nothing, ripper roaring, every time a bullseye salesman. That's Professor Harold Hill.
Tell us what's his line. The baby. He doesn't know the territory.
Well,
What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk? What do you talk?
he's a music man.
He's a what?
He's a music man. He sells clarinets to the kids in the town with the big trombones, the rat-a-tat drums, and the big brass bass. And the piccolo uniforms too, with the shiny gold braid red coat and the big red stripe running down.
Well, I don't know much about bass, but I do know you can't make limits on big trombone. No, sir. Mandolin big, perhaps, and here and there too. But
No, the fella sells bands, kids' bands. I don't know how he does it, but he lives like a king, and he dallies and he gathers, and he plucks and he shines. And when the man dances, certainly boys, what else? The piper pays him. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. When the man dances, certainly boys, what else? The piper pays him.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But he doesn't know the territory.
River City, we're crossing the line into Iowa. River City, population 2,212. Cigarettes illegal in this state. Board?
All right. If you're all through, I'll tell you about Harold Hill.
You really know Harold Hill?
Never saw him in my life, but I know this much. He's given every one of us a black eye. After he's worked the town over, the next salesman to arrive, we taught him how to get tarred and feathered and rode out to the city limits on the rail. You think that's funny? Wait till it happens to you. Your hair never grows back.
But why should he get rode out of town on a rail?
Because in order to sell band instruments and uniforms and instruction books, he has to guarantee to teach kids to play.
Well,
And to burn them kids to a band. With himself as the leader.
What's wrong with that?
He don't know one note from another. That's what's wrong with that. And he can't tell a bass drum from a pipe organ. When I catch him with that swindling two-bit thimble rigger also be along against so...
Wow, Charlie, you're mad. Sure like to be around when you catch up with that fella.
Won't be on this trip. Not in Iowa. Even the great Professor Harold Hill would try to sell the neck-bowed Hawkeyes out here.
4.
Gentlemen, you intrigue me. I think I'll give Iowa a try.
I don't believe I caught your name.
I don't believe I dropped.
It is if you want to walk around in your drawers all day.
And there I was at the Madison Hospital, and no one come to see me. My cousin Will never come. Aunt Bertha never come. Your Aunt Bertha's dead. She wouldn't have come anyway. We can be cold as a rolling river in December, about weather in July, and we're so blind on summer we can stand such a nose for because I can never say eye to eye. Boys will give you harshness and a path to go with this. If your cross should happen to die.
What the heck? Glad to have you with us. Even though we may not ever mention it.
You really ought to get
Ah, Mr. Squires. Yes, I'd be interested in a rig for Sunday if you could accommodate me.
Then I expect you ought to talk to the man in charge of hiring rigs, who is late as usual.
Hey, Gregory!
Marcellus!
You old son of a gun! But, Greg, Professor Hill's the name. Harold Hill. But, Greg, what are you doing here? Why didn't you let me know you was coming? I didn't know I was myself. Besides, how could I know you would end up in a little tank town like this? You were a pretty big slicker when you were in business with me. Too many close shaves the way you work. Besides, got me a nice, comfortable girl. Ethel Toffenmeyer. Boss's niece. Gone legitimate, huh? I knew you'd come to no good. So, what's the new pitch? Oh no, you're not back in the band business, are you? I heard you was in steam automobiles. Well, I was. What happened? Somebody actually invented one. No. Now, give me the lowdown here, Mars. You won't get anywhere in this band business with these stubborn Iowans, Greg. Besides, they got a stuck-up music teacher who'll expose you before you get your grip unpacked. Male or female? The music teacher? Why, she's a librarian. Female. Perfect. That's what I wanted to hear. She passes by, point her out to me. I will. Now, how are you going to start the pitch? Same old way. Keep that music teacher off balance. And then my next step will be to get your town out of the serious trouble it's in. Ooh. Problem there. River City isn't in any trouble. Then I'll have to create some. I have to create a desperate need for a kid's band. You remember. Now, what's new around here? What can I use? Nothing much. Except the billiard parlor's just put in a new pool table. They never had a pool table here before? No, only billiards. That'll do. See you around, Mars. Don't forget, music teacher. Music teacher. Ah, you're Mr. Dunlop. Yep. Well, either you are closing your eyes to a situation you do not wish to acknowledge, or you're unaware of the caliber of disaster indicated by the presence of a pool table in your community. Well, you got trouble, my friend. Right here, say trouble right here in River City. Why, sure, I'm a bill of clerk. My, you proud to say, and always mighty proud to say. I consider that the hours I spend with you in my hand are gold. Let me cultivate horse sense, and a cool head, and a keen eye. Did you ever think to try and give an ironclad lead to yourself from a 3-reel billiard shot? But just as I say, takes judgment, brains, and maturity. Scoring a long-line game, I say any boo. Then take and shove a ball in a pocket. And I call that slop. First big step on the road to the depths of degradation, say first. But this is no wine from a teaspoon, then beer from a bottle. And the next thing you know, your son is playing for money in a pinchback suit. And listening to some that got a town Jasper. Here it's all about horse race gambling. Not a wholesome trotting race, no, but a race where they sit down right on the horse. Let's see some stuck-up jockey boys sitting on jam patch. Think you play boredom? Well, I should say. Now, friends, let me tell you what I mean. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pockets on the table. Pockets that mark the difference between a gentleman and a bum, with a capital B that rhymes with B, and that's stands for a pool. And all week long, River City used to be frittering away, say your young men will be frittering. Frittering away at their mealtime, supper time, short time too. Hit the ball in the pocket. Never mind getting data lines forward, the screen going past the beefsteak pounder. Never mind pumping any water. Your parents are caught with the cistern empty on a Saturday night, and that's trouble. This has got lots of trouble. I'm thinking of the kids in the knickerbocker, shirt tail youngins, peeking in the pool hall, going after school. You got trouble, folks. Right here in River City. With a capital T and that rhymes with B, and that stands for a pool. No, I know all you folks are the right kind of parents. I'm gonna be perfectly frank. Would you like to know what kind of conversation goes on with looking around that hall? Never try to beat them. Try to do that. Try to say the ladies like cigarette thieves and brag and all about how they're gonna cover up the telltale breakfast sense. And one fine night, they leave the pool hall heading for the dance of the army. Libertine men and scarlet women and ragtime. Shameless music that'll drive your son, your daughter with the arms of a jungle animal instinct. Hysteria! Friends, the idle brain is the devil's playground. Trouble!
Oh, we got trouble.
Right here in the city.
Right here in the city.
See that rhyme with B, and that stands for a pool.
That stands for pool.
We surely got trouble.
We surely got trouble.
Right here in the city.
Right here.
Gotta figure out a way to keep the young ones more after school.
Our children gonna have trouble.
Mothers of River City, heed the warning before it's too late. Watch for the telltale signs of corruption. The minute your son leaves the house, does he rebuckle his knickerbockers below the knee? Is there a nicotine stain on his index finger? A dime novel hidden in the corn crib? Is he starting to memorize jokes from Captain Billy's whiz bang? Certain words creeping into his conversation. Words like swell, aha, and so's your old man. Well, so, my friends, you got trouble right here in River City. They got fancy and I rhyme with P and that stands for pool. We sure got trouble right here in River City. Remember them names, Plymouth Rock and the Golden Rule. Oh, we got trouble. We're in terrible, terrible trouble. That game with the 15-number balls, the devil's school. Oh, yes, we got trouble, trouble, trouble. With a Z. That's it. I don't suppose you dropped your...
No.
I'll only be in town a short while.
That you, daughter?
Yes, Mama. Keep on, umbrellas. We'll be there in a minute. Hello, Mama. Fine, dear. Now your exercises.
Yes, ma'am. I don't remember the library meeting for last 4th of July.
It was, Mama. All evening. Mama, a man with a suitcase has been following me all over town.
Oh, who?
I never saw him before.
Did he say anything?
He tried.
Did you say anything?
Mama, of course not. Now don't dawdle, Amaryllis. Sol, do, la, re, ti, mi, a little slower, and please keep the fingers curved as nice and high as you possibly can. Don't get faster, dear.
If you don't mind my saying so, it wouldn't have hurt you to find out what the gentleman wanted.
I know what the gentleman wanted.
What, dear?
You'll find it in Balzac.
Excuse me for living, but I've never read it.
Neither has anyone else in this town. There you go again with that same old comments about the low mentality of River City people and taking it all too much to heart. Now, Mama, as long as the Madison Public Library is entrusted to me for the purpose of improving River City's cultural level, I can't help my concern that the ladies of River City keep ignoring all my counsel and advice. But, darling, when a woman has a husband and you've got none, why should you take advice from you? Even if you can't quote Balzac and Shakespeare and all other highfalutin creeps. Mama, if you don't mind me saying so, you have a bad habit of changing every subject. No, I haven't changed your subject. I was talking about the stranger or strange with that suitcase and maybe a very last chance. Mama, do you think I'd allow a common masher now? Really, Mama, I and my standards were meant more concerned and I have no intention. I know all about your sins, and if you don't mind my saying so, there's not a man alive who can hope to measure up to the play the poem. When you say you're proud of no one, so you can come to for yourself. I'm your Irish imagination, I was starting to lyric love books.
Well, if that's not the best I've ever heard. Thank you. Can I have a drink, please? May I have a drink, please?
Yes, dear. Winthrop, it's after dark. Now, is that a way to walk into a house?
Hello.
That won't do it all. I'll have a kiss from the boy. That lady over there's your sister, you know.
Hello, Winthrop.
Winthrop, where's your manners?
I'm having a party on Saturday. Will you please come? I would especially like it very much if you come. Winthrop?
Well, Winthrop, Amaryllis asked you to her party. Are you going or aren't you?
No.
No what?
No, thank you.
You know the little girl's name.
He won't say Amaryllis because of the S, because of his lisp. He's ashamed.
We all know about his lisp, Amaryllis. Well, Winthrop?
I'll bet he won't say it. No, thank you, Amaryllis. Amaryllis, Amaryllis! He's crying. Why does he get so mad at people just because he lisps?
It's not only because he lisps. That's just part of it, Amaryllis.
What's the other part?
Never mind that, dear. It's just that he never talks very much.
Not even to you and your mother?
No, dear. We all have to be a little patient.
I'm patient, even though he doesn't ever talk to me. But I do him every night. I say goodnight to him on the evening star. You have to do it the very second you see it too, or it doesn't count. Good night, my Winthrop. Good night. Sleep tight.
Oh, there, darling, don't cry. You have lots of time. If not Winthrop, there'll be someone else.
Never! I'll end up an old maid like you! I'm sorry, Miss Marion. Can I play my cross handpiece?
May
May I play my cross handpiece?
You may.
See? Without a sweetheart, you have no one to say goodnight to on the evening star.
I know, Emerald. For the time being, just say goodnight, my someone. You can put the name in when the right someone comes along.
All right. It's better than nothing.
Yes, it is. Now you can play your cross handpiece.
Now I may play my cross handpiece.
Good night, my someone. Good night, my love. Sleep tight, my someone. Sleep tight, my love. Our star is shining, its brightest light. For good night, my someone. Good night. Sweet dreams be yours, dear, if dreams there be. Sweet dreams to carry you close to me. I wish they may, and I wish they might. Now good night, my someone. Good night. True love can be whispered from heart to heart. When lovers are parted, they say, my time must depend on a wish and a star, as long as my heart doesn't know you. Sweet dreams be yours, dear, if dreams there be. Sweet dreams to carry you close to me. I wish they may, and I wish they might. Now good night, my someone. Good night. Good night. Good night.
I'm sure we're all grateful for my wife, Eulalie McKechnie, for leading the singing, and to J.C. Squires for his fine stereoptician slides, and to Ethel Toffelmeyer, our fine piano player. As mayor of River City, I welcome you river citizens to the 4th of July exercises. Set up for the indoors here in Madison Gymnasium. Account the weather. 4-score-and-7. 4-score-and-7 years. the members of the school board will now present a patriotic tableau. Oh, the members of the school board will not present a patriotic tableau. Some disagreement about costumes, I suppose. Instead, the Wontongi girls of the local wigwam of Hiawatha will present a spectacle. My wife. In which my wife, Eulalie McKechnie, will take a leading part.
Wa Tan Yi!
Wa Tan Yi!
Wa Tan Yi!
Wa Tan Yi!
I will now count to 20 in the Indian tongue. Een, teen, t'other, feather, fip. I'm shot, George! Who shot me?
Yes, it was Tommy Gilas!
Mrs. Shin will recover. No thanks to a certain young ruffian who is a disgrace to our city. 47 years. The Pain's fireworks spectacle, last day of Pompeii, will take place provided the rain stops by 9:30. It'll be out to Madison Picnic Park, in the far meadow, across the creek from the pest house.
How could it be raining? Didn't the Gazette predict fair?
Sure did, Ebert. That's why we all prepared for a storm.
Listen, that Gazette is accurate most of the time. You know it, JC. Well, you wouldn't last long in the banking business being accurate most of the time.
Here we go with the banking
Here we go.
business.
Well, what do you know?
Now, just a minute here. Let's have order here. Order! Order!
Number 8's late again tonight.
I make her early.
She's late, all right. No, she's right on time. What's the matter with your watch?
Nothing matter with my watch.
Will you members of the school board stop bickering in public?
All I said was...
Never mind. 4 and
We
7.
heard there's a pool table in town.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Now just a minute here.
Is it a pool table or isn't it?
Will you allow me to continue on with the exercises?
We don't want any more exercises until we get this pool table matter settled.
Let's protect our children.
Yeah!
Resist sin and corruption.
Yeah!
Let's smite that devil and keep our young boys pure.
Yeah!
Friends, may I have your attention, please? Attention, please. I can deal with this trouble, friends, with a wave of my hand this very hand. Please observe me, if you will. I'm Professor Harold Hill, and I'm here to organize River City Kids Band. Oh, think, my friends, how can any pool table ever hope to compete with a gold trombone? La da la da 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 la la. Remember, my friends, what a handful of trumpet players did to the famous fabled walls of Jericho. Oh, billiard pro walls come a-tumbling down. Oh, a band will do it, my friends. Oh, yes, it's a kids band. You hear me? River City's gotta have her kids band, and I mean she needs it today. While Professor Harold Hill's on hand, River City's gonna have her kids band. Sure as the Lord made little Minneapolis, that band's gonna be in uniform. John, Willie, Ted, Fred. And you'll see the glimmer of crashing cymbals, and you'll hear the thunder of rolling drums, the shimmer of trumpets. Ta-da! And you'll feel something akin to the electric thrill I once enjoyed. Win Gilmore, Liberati, Pat Conway, the great creator, W.C. Handy, and John Philip Sousa all came to town on the very same historic day. 76 trombones led the big parade with 150
close at hand. They were followed by rows and rows of the finest virtuosos, the cream of every famous band. 76 trombones caught the morning sun, with 110 cornets right behind. There were more than 1,000 reeds springing up like weeds. There were horns of every shape and kind. There were copper bottom, timpani, and horse platoons, thundering, thundering all along the way. Double bell, euphoniums, and big bassoons, each bassoon having its big fat say. There were 50 mounted cannon in the battery, thundering, thundering, louder than before. Clarinets of every size and trumpeters who'd improvise a full octave higher than the sky.
Men, this calls for emergency action. This man is a spellbinder. I haven't seen how people get so excited since the night Frank Gotch and Strangler Lewis laid on the mat for 3.5 hours. Never mind. I want his credentials. Read that hoodlum. He almost blew up Mrs. Shin.
Thank you, Professor. Have to make an example of him. Ringleader. You know, what he does, the gang does.
Gillyclad, where we go? You wild kid, yeah? Hanging around my oldest girl? His father's one of them day laborers south of town. You wild kid, yeah? Tagging down Main Street after my oldest girl last Sunday? I wasn't even tagging. Don't you contradict me. We just go out together. Gillyclad! You watch your phraseology. I know what you was doing. My little Gracie's senior. Now you stay away from my oldest girl, or you'll hear from me till who laid the rails. Hill, I'll talk to you about this band day Monday morning over at City Hall. 10 o'clock sharp. Men, I want that spellbinder's credentials.
Oh, Constable. I'll be responsible for the boy.
You don't know this kid. He's tough. And he's got his whole gang waiting outside.
Oh, I'll be careful. Tommy, I'd like to talk to you about the band.
Well, that's just for little kids.
Now, I'm not talking about you playing in the band. Well, you're mechanically minded, aren't you? Ever do anything with, perpetual motion?
Almost had it a couple times.
You did. You're my man. Do you realize that nobody has ever invented a music holder for a marching piccolo player? No place to hang the music.
Gillyclad, where do I get some wire from?
Look in your cellar, that's where people keep their wire. Oh, Tommy.
Yes, sir?
Now, Constable, I'll show you how to break up a gang. Oh, young lady. Oh, miss. What's your name?
Sunita, I didn't have any idea you was beckoning to me. He got.
Do you know Tommy Gilas?
Well,
Tommy, this is Anita. Escort the young lady home.
Only excepting, I'm not going home. I have to go to the library. Ye gods.
Well, then escort the young lady home by way of the library. By way of the candy kitchen.
Yes, sir. Do I have to?
Oh, you have to.
Yes, sir.
Ye gods!
Professor, you're a pretty bright young fellow, though you made a couple of mistakes.
Oh?
The mayor happens to own that billiard parlor and the new pool table.
Oh, well, what was my other mistake?
That's Anita. She is the mayor's oldest girl.
Just a minute, Professor. We need your credentials. We are the school board. We need academic certificates.
Nothing of the kind.
We need letters and papers. They can flip a bond. What am I hearing?
Say ice cream.
Ice cream, but I don't sing, young man.
Well, all right. Talk then. Down here.
Ice cream.
Talk slow.
Ice cream.
You see? Singing is always the same talking. Now you right here.
Ice cream.
Now you right here.
Ice cream.
Now you, sir.
Ice cream.
Ladies, from now on, you'll never see one of those men without the other three.
But, Professor, you're wrong. Like, they've hated each other for 15 years.
Ice cream. Ice cream. Ice cream.
How can there be
Any citizenship? Where is the good and goodbye and goodbye? Your apprehensions confuse me, dear. Puzzle and mystify, tell me what can be fair in farewell, dear, while one single star shines above. How can there be any citizenship? Are we sincerely in
I don't suppose you live alone or anything.
No.
Well, I'll only be in town for a while. I've got some wonderful caravans over at the hotel.
Mr. Hill!
Professor Hill.
Professor of what? At what college they give out a degree for annoying women on the street like a Saturday night rowdy at a public dance hall?
Oh, well, I wouldn't know anything about that. I'm a conservatory man myself. Gary, Indiana. Gold medal class of 05.
Even should that happen to be true, does that give you the right to follow me around wherever I go? Another thing, Mr. Hill, I'm not as easily mesmerized or hoodwinked as people in this town. I think it only fair to tell you I have a shelf full of reference books in there, and which may very well give me some interesting information about you.
Hey, Greg.
Oh, hi, Marcellus. And don't call me Greg.
Never mind that. How'd you make out with the music teacher?
Scrumptious. Ate out of my hand the minute I tipped my hat.
She did. Boy, did you cut us off tonight. For a minute, even I thought you knew something about leading a band. Just like how you imitated that band concert fellow back in Joplin.
Yeah. Kid stuff. I'm in rare form these days, son. Just you keep your eyes on me for the next 4 weeks.
4 weeks? It only needs to take 10 days for the instruments to arrive.
Well, it still does. But it takes 4 weeks for the uniforms.
Oh no, Greg. You haven't added uniforms.
Uniforms and instruction books.
Instruction books? But Greg, you can't pass yourself off as a music professor. I mean, not 24 weeks, Mars. But you don't know one note from another.
I have a revolutionary new method called the Think System, where you don't bother with notes.
But in 4 weeks, the people will want to hear music, and you'll have to lead a band.
But when the uniforms arrive, they forget everything else. Or at least, long enough for me to collect and leave. Well, this is a refined operation, son. And I've got it timed down to the last wave of the brakeman's hand on the last train out of town. Now, Mr. Washburn, if you'll excuse me.
Gonna line yourself up a little canoodling, huh?
Well,
say, I could line you up with Ethel's sister. Lovely guy. Teaches Sunday school.
No wide-eyed, eager, wholesome, innocent Sunday school teacher for me. That kind of gal spins webs no spider ever. Now, listen, boy. A girl who trades in all that purity merely wants to trade my independence for her security. The only approach she will file refers to marching down the aisle. No gold, glorious, gleaming, pristine goddess. No, sir, we're no Diana to I perform. I can tell you that right now. I starve, I hiss, how can ignorance be compared to bliss? I spark, and I fizz, for the lady who knows what time it is. I cheer, and I rave, for the virtue I'm too late to save. The sun of the wise know for me. I blush and breathless baby doll me. No, sir, that kind of child's eyes, not no sailor ever knew. I prefer to take a chance on more adult romance. No youngness who keeps resisting, all the time she keeps insisting. No wide-eyed, wholesome, innocent female. No, sir, why she's the fisherman, I'm the fish you see. Flop, I flinch, I shy, when the last delicate air goes by. I smile, and I grin, when the gal with a touch of sin walks in. I hope, and I pray, for it has to the wind just one more A. The sound of the bunch of girls that go for me. The sound of the bunch of girls for me.
On the PV, everyone's so excited about the band. I'm Ethel Toffelmeyer, the pianola girl.
And this is Mrs. Squires, and this is Mrs. Hicks. And of course you've met Eulalie McKechnie-Shin, our mayor's wife. Isn't it exciting, Eulalie?
Oh, I could not say. No, I could not say. I could not say at this time. You see, my husband wished to investigate, I'm sure. And naturally, I'm reticent. Oh yes, I'm reticent.
Well, of course, Mrs. Shin, I understand. But you see, part of my music plans include a committee on the dancing. Wait. No, wait. Oh, do that again, Mrs. Shin. Your foot, the way you raised it just now.
Oh, I have a bunny in there that bothers.
Oh, what grace. What natural flow of rhythm. What expression of line and movement.
Mr. Hill.
Oh, you must accept the chairmanship of the Ladies' Auxiliary of the Classic Dance. Mustn't she, ladies? Mustn't she?
Yes, please.
Every move you make, Mrs. Shin, bespeaks down soft. Will you? Say yes, Mrs. Shin.
Eulalie McKechnie-Shin. That is dancing, well.
Then you accept.
Yes, indeed. And I would just like to say,
thank you. Now, the young lady who plays the piano, Marion Peru, I believe. Well, after all, she is the librarian.
Big a little, talk a little, big a little, talk a little, cheep, 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 take a lot, big a little more, big a little, talk a little, big a little, talk a little, cheep, 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 take a lot, big a little more, big a little, talk a little, big a little, talk a little, cheep, 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 take a lot, big a little more, big a little, talk a little, big a little, talk a little, cheep, 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 cheep.
She made brazen overtures to a man who never had a friend in this town till she moved here. Old Miser Madison.
Miser Madison? Madison Gymnasium? Madison Picnic Park? Madison Hospital? That Miser Madison?
Exactly. Who do you think he was anyway?
Well, I should say. Show off. Gave the town the library too, didn't he?
That's just it. When he died, he left the library building to the city.
He left all the books to her.
She was seen going and coming from his place.
Oh yes, that woman made brazen overtures with a chip guarantee. She had golden tips in her eye, a silver voice to attack his ring. Just melted down in your reveal, a love of that is cold as steel. Here's where one's heart should be. He left River City, the library building, but he left all the books to her. Sure, sir.
Why, yes, I have just what you need at the hotel. If you'll come with me. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. Good night, ladies. Farewell, ladies. It's all right. I know everything, and it doesn't make any difference.
What are you talking about?
Well, you were probably very young. Anyone can make a mistake.
What?
No apologies, no explanations, please. I'll only be in town a short while, and the sadder, the wiser girl for me.
Will you please make your selection and leave?
Well, I have.
Well, what do you want to take out?
The library.
Quiet, please.
The library. You're not listening, Mary. Look. Marion. Marbles. 6 Steelies, 8 Aggies, a dozen Pee-wees, and 1 big glass with an American flag in the middle. I think I'll drop it.
No.
Shh, not on my brain. What can I do, my dear, to catch your ear? I love you madly, 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 my Marion, Marion. Heaven help us if the library caught on fire and the volunteer host brigade men had to whisper the news to Marion. Not on my Marion. What can I say, my dear, to make it clear? I love you madly, madly, madam, my Marion. Marion, if I stumbled and I busted my whatchamacallit, I could lie on your floor unnoticed till my body had turned to carrion. Madam, my Marion. In the moonlight, man could sing it. In the moonlight, and a fellow would know that his darling had heard every word of his song. With the moonlight helping along. But when I tried here to tell you, dear, I love you madly, madly, madam, my Marion. Marion, it's a long lost cause. I can never win. such as Marian, Madam Librarian. I love you, Madam Librarian. Marian, it's a long lost cause. I can never win. That the civilized world accepts as unforgivable sin. And you're talking about non-vanity, librarian, such as Marian. The ladies' dance committee meets Tuesday nights. Madam Librarian, marshmallow? I'd say we had a pretty good day. 11 sales out of 12 tries. Tell you what, it's almost noon. You better go home and get some dinner.
Goodbye, Professor.
Thanks, Tommy.
Now, just a minute here. Are you soliciting? You haven't got a license.
Why, no, Mayor Shin, I collect doorbells. This specimen has an unusual tone quality that's...
Flattery will not avail you. Soliciting is statutory in this county. Malfeasance without a permit. Why have you been down to City Hall with your references?
Well, I just missed you. Why, Mr. Mayor, your hand. Oh, no.
What?
That spread of the little finger. It's hereditary.
Oh, is it? What does that mean?
Well, it means that your son's little finger is perfectly situated to operate the spit valve on a B-flat flugelhorn.
Is that good?
Good? It means that at last, America has produced an artist who can flugel a minute waltz in 50 seconds.
Where can I get one of those horns?
Sign here, Mr. Mayor. That'll be $17 import fee.
Yes, just think. I could have missed the whole... I haven't got a son! You unscrupulous blue by night! You unflippious! You beat down to City Hall with your by God references by 3 o'clock!
You mean this afternoon?
I couldn't make myself any plainer if I was a Quaker on this day off.
The facial characteristics of a cornet virtuoso.
I don't know if I understand you entirely, Professor.
Well, if your boy has that same firm chin and those splendid cheek muscles, well, by George, well, not that he could ever really be great, you understand.
Oh, is that so? In the name of St. Bridget, why not?
Well, you see, all the really great cornet players were Irish. O'Clark, O'Mendez, O'Kline.
But, Professor, we are Irish.
No, really. Well, that clinches it. Sign here, madam. Your boy was born to play the cornet. Fine, that'll be $7 earnest money. Nothing more due to the first installment, payable at the opening of band practice. Ah, thank you. And of course, I'll need the boy's measurements for his uniform.
His uniform?
Hello, son. Why, certainly his uniform. And there won't be a penny due till delivery, which gives him 4 weeks to enjoy, to anticipate, to imagine, at no cost whatsoever. Never let the demands of tomorrow interfere with the pleasures and excitements of today.
Would it have
A stripe? Why, certainly, my boy. A wide red stripe on each side. What do you think of that?
You'll have to excuse Winthrop, Professor. We can't get him to say 3 words a day, even to us. And if you get him to play in the band, you'll have St. Michael's own way with you. But if anyone can do it, I'll bet you can. Of a crowd, I'll pick you for hot carrying, clay pipe smoking, shamrock wearing, harp playing, Terrace Hall neutral seat Irishman, bee gog, bee javelins. Where are you from, little boy?
Gary, Indiana.
I knew it, Gary. Where did you say?
Gary, Indiana. In fact, Gary Conservatory was my alma mater.
Was she now?
Why, yes. Gold medal class of 05. How do you do, Miss Peru?
How to do, Mr. Hill?
Of course, Peru. I thought the name sounded familiar. I've tried to see you since the other night, but...
He wants to put Winthrop in the band.
We're not interested, Mama.
But, Marion, your brother might have his father's musical gift. He does have my job, you know.
Your husband musical? Well, I'd like to have a talk with him. I'm sure we...
Do you burst into everyone's home like this? Prying into personal affairs? We're not interested.
Marion!
Well, that's 1 for and 1 against. Now, why not let the boy's father decide?
The boy's father's dead. Anything else?
Oh, well, I'm sorry, but that's all the more reason your brother needs something like...
My brother is a 10-year-old problem child that doesn't understand why his father was taken away. He's been brooding about it for 2 years. Would you care to explain it to him? As to your musical tricks, Mr. Hill, why don't you go into business with some carnival man that sells gold-painted watches and glass diamond rings?
Well, Miss Peru, I hardly... I get the feeling she likes the idea. Oh, a little cautious, perhaps, but I admire that in a woman. Just keep me alive, and I'll be back later in the week.
One moment, Professor Hill. About the boy's measurements, I make all his clothes. Sleeve 21, waist 18, crotch 14.
Fine, thank you. Now I must get back to the hotel.
I do hope you'll excuse Marion. She's not really...
Please, don't worry about a thing. I'm sure that at heart, she's as lovely as yourself. Good day to you, Widow Peru.
Has he gone?
He has. And I hope not forever. Darling, do you ever think about your future? Gary, Indiana Conservatory class of '05? Now, darling.
Now, Mama, surely a girl's future doesn't depend on encouraging every fast-talking, woman-chasing, traveling man that comes to town. And the fact that he claims his commodity is music does not, in this particular case, impress me.
All right, darling, all right. As long as it's a well-known fact that if you keep the flint in one drawer and the steel in another, you'll never spark much of a fire.
Mama! Winthrop, I know you're there. Please go to the library and ask Miss Grubb for the book I've set aside. It's the Indiana State Educational Journal, 1890 to 1910. It's a large brown volume with black corners.
Do I have to?
You won't have to say a word to anyone. I've written it all down. Thank you, dear.
Now, what are you up to? What do you need books at this hour of the night?
I have the feeling that the Indiana Journal might help me poke some large holes in the professor's claims.
Well, I give up. At your age, what kind of white knight expects to come riding along?
Well, I'm not waiting for Luther Griner to back me into ancient history stuff every time he comes into the library.
He does?
Or Ed Gamage in that removable backseat buggy of his. But I'm not waiting for a man in white shining armor either.
My white knight, not a Lancelot, nor an angel with wings, just someone to love me, who is not ashamed of a few nice things. My white knight, what my heart would say if it only knew how. Please, dear Venus, show me now. All I want is a plain man. All I want is a modest man, a quiet man, a gentleman, a straightforward and honest man to me. In a country somewhere in the state of Iowa, and I would like him to be more interested in me than he is in himself, and more interested in us than in me. And occasionally he pondered what makes Shakespeare and Beethoven great. Him I could love till I die. Him I could love till I die. My white knight, not a Lancelot, nor an angel with wings, just someone to love me, who is not ashamed of a few nice things. My white knight, what my heart would say if it only knew how. I can't love him till I
Sunita, hey Sunita.
Tommy, Papa and Mama are right there in the bank. You got.
Then meet me after supper.
I can't. It's Upper's League night. Meet you where?
The footbridge.
You see, isn't that just what I said? Last time the lumberyard, and this time the footbridge. And where will you meet me after that? The black hole of Calcutta? You got.
I just want to show you my invention.
What invention?
My invention, my marching piccolo player holder. Still has a couple minor flaws. See, when you hold it tight enough to keep the music steady, you cut off circulation and you can't wiggle your fingers. Meanwhile, you could go blind.
Tommy, it's Papa.
Is that the first thing I said or not?
Yes, George.
Yes! The very first thing I said, morning of July 4th, 1912. Get that spellbinder's credentials or eat hay with the horse. And now look! My wife is off dancing at any and all hours instead of in the home.
But George...
The school board is singing up street and down alley instead of tending to city matters. My oldest girl is boodling around with some wild kid. And my business has fallen off so far, I can't find the balance sheet.
Mr. Mayor, I found something interesting in the Indiana Journal about Professor Hill's alma mater.
His who?
His university.
I know all about that. In fact, it's the only thing I can ever get out of him. Gary Conservatory, class of Hot 5.
If you just can take a look, I don't think you'll have to look much further. It's on page...
The Wells Fargo wagon is coming up for the depot.
The Wells Fargo wagon? Oh, likely story. At this hour and eight? Nonsense. The Wells Fargo wagon?
It could be the band instruments.
The band instruments?
Although the Wells Fargo wagon is coming down the street, so please let it be for me. Although the Wells Fargo wagon is coming down the street, I wish I knew what it would be.
I got a box of maple sugar on my birthday. And once I got some great room from you. My rewards and you left a family process.
Although the Wells Fargo wagon is coming down the street, the green makes a price of COT. It could be crazy tradition or on down on my line. Yes, it could be. Yes, you're right. It surely could be. Special something very, very special now.
Just for me.
Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is coming down the street, so don't let it pass my door. Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is coming down the street, I wish I knew what it was coming for.
I hope I get my raising.
The DAR set the cannon for the courthouse man.
Oh, the Wells Fargo wagon is coming down. I don't know how I could ever wait to see. It could be some with someone who is very ended, or it could be some special just for me.
Here you are, Winthrop.
Like Renette, do you think, Professor?
Kids, you will each receive individual instruction in due course. In the meantime, stay off the streets, get acquainted with your instruments, and think about the minuet in G. La-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da, la-di-da, la-di-da.
Sister, isn't it the most squamous doggo thing you ever saw? I never thought I'd see anything so squamous as this squamous doggo thing. Oh, sister!
Round one goes for you, Mr. Hale. But I better use some bygone tune now those horns in pretty short order. Or I'll see you in front of the grand jury over the county seat. Now, Miss Marian, about that book.
Come, George. Tempest Stooges.
You watch your phraseology. Get along if you want to. I've got to get something from that librarian. About the book.
The ladies' dance committee meets Tuesday nights over at the high school.
Lovely. Now turn. Take the bottle with you. Lovely. Now let's have a go at our Grecian herbs. 1 Grecian herb. 2 Grecian herbs. And a fountain. Trickle, trickle, trickle. Splendid, ladies. I predict that our Del Sons display will be the highlight of the ice cream sociable. Now, gentlemen, if you're ready. And remember, ladies, don't make me tell you again. Always keep your face to the audience. All right, Mr. Dunlop.
It's you in the sunrise. It's you in my car. It's you all the way into town. It's your sweet hello, dear, that sets me up. And it's your got to go, dear, that gets me down. It's you on my pillow in all of my dreams, till once more the morning breaks through. What words could be saner or truer or plainer than it's you? It's you. Yes, it's you. Oh, yes, it's you.
Mr. Washburn, we are entitled to 5 more minutes.
If you think you can hold these kids back, then go ahead.
Start it up, Mr. Washburn. Wait till you see the new stuff Professor Hill taught us.
All right. What'll it be?
Now a little kiss on the very first date is usually a hussy. And a little wait till the second time out is anything but fussy. And a little wait till the third time around and the clock's spinning around. She's got a glass down, she says spooky, 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 spooky. The girl is like to get spooky, spooky, spooky. Like to get with her head. What her much raise the curtain, come on, touch, make for certain. What's on the side of her, that gets so head first. Don't bring me back, so let's see down, see us and find me ready. I'll squeeze her once, she hears her looking. She's back, that stands cooking. What's more for half forever, she never gets on her leg, it's a bar. Don't bring me back, so let's see down, down. Now little songs from girl, as anyone can see. Looking at she's go gal, who only goes for me. Squeeze her once, she hears her looking. She's back, that stands cooking. What's more for half forever, she never gets on her leg, it's a bar. So let's see down, down. Shaboopy, shaboopy, shaboopy. That girl is right to dance. Shaboopy, shaboopy.
Take your hands off my oldest girl!
Papa!
Mr. Signor, me and your daughter be going to stay behind your back.
Why, you...
Rather do it in front of your back, but...
Do what? Never mind.
Zanita scared you, but I'm not. I should think that you'd hate to have your own daughter scared you. Chili claw!
I'm going to warn you once more. If I ever see you touching my daughter, I'll, by God, horsewhip you till hell won't have it again!
Now, George!
Not one poop out of you, madam.
I think he means Pete.
Yes! And now, get out of this public building.
I haven't waited in this public building as anybody.
Right? How do you get a right? Aiding and abetting the swindling activities of this spellbinding symbol salesman? You know what I see written all over your face? Reform school! Now get out, you wild kid! Get out!
Papa! It's capitalists like you make blood in the marketplace. Get gone!
You watch your phraseology. Go home! You lady!
But, George, I was just...
You tend to your dance.
My dance?
I'll handle Zanita, taking up with the kids from the wrong side of town.
Mr. Mayor, if I could just make you understand.
Well, you can't. And by the way, thanks for nothing. I read that whole book of yours from cover to cover for a whole week and didn't find a thing.
Mr. Mayor, if you please.
I'll settle your hash as soon as I get these premises off my oldest girl. Yes?
Well, all right. In the meantime, I want you to know I'm vouching for Tommy Gillis. That boy's got the confidence of every kid in town. You'll be staying in line waiting to shake his hand by the time our band plays its first concert.
By time your band plays in its first concert, the individual members will have to foregather in wheelchairs on the account of the broken legs they'll have from tripping over their beards. I'll tell you something, my feathered young feathered... Never mind! Oliver, JC, Ewart, Oleg. I want that man's references.
You mean you want us to get his credentials?
Get his papers or get him in jail. Couldn't make myself any plainer if I was a buttonhook in the well water.
Professor Hill, I think the mayor's behaved abominably, and I think it was wonderful for you to come to Tommy's defense.
Oh, that was nothing.
Yes, it was.
Oh, no. A man can't dodge the issue every time a little personal risk is involved. What does the poet say? The coward dies 1,000 deaths, the brave man only 500. Well, unfortunately, of course, the mayor was already pretty mad on account of his billiard parlor. Now, I suppose a recommendation from a musical authority such as yourself would help, but I couldn't think you'd ask me to do a thing like that.
Why, Professor Hill?
You would.
I'd be glad to. I just wish I was a little more informed. I've been meaning to ask you about Winford's cornet.
His cornet? Mother of pearl keys.
I'm sure it's fine, but you see, he never touches it. Oh, the first week or so, I guess he made a few experimental blats, you'd say.
Yes, blats.
And he sings it, minuet and G, daft almost constantly.
La-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da, la-di-da, la-di-da.
But he never touches the cornet.
Well, you see.
He says you told him it wasn't necessary.
Well,
And he talks about some think system, that if he thinks the minuet in G, he doesn't have to bother with the notes. Now, Professor.
Miss Mary, the think system is a revolutionary new method, I'll admit. So was Galileo's conception of the heavens, Columbus's conception of the globe, Bach's conception of the well-tempered clavichord. Now, I cannot discuss these things here in public, but if you'll allow me to call, when may I call?
Why didn't you do it this week?
Piccolo, cycle, chick, 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 piccolo more, piccolo,
Miss Murray, please turn ourselves Sergeant Liddy.
piccolo, dance, and the ship, chest,
all been deputized.
Yes. Congratulations. Let's see now. You know, all week, you fellows have tried to get my references and credentials. But every time, you seem to get off the subject somehow. Now, I have just one up in my hotel room. It'll take me a second.
Afraid I have to go with you.
Yes. Well, let's see if I have my key. Oh, what's this? Why, it's a testimonial from Madame Ringy, the only female bassoon player ever to appear on the Red Path circuit. Her stage name, of course. Actually, she was from Moline, Lida Rose Quackenbush.
Can I see that?
Oh, you'll never forget the name. Lida Rose. Same as the old song. Lida Rose, I'm home again, Rose.
To get the sun back in the sky. Lida Rose, I'm home again, Rose. How 1,000 kisses shy. Ding dong ding, I can hear the chapel bells chime. Ding dong ding, at the least suggestion I'll pop the question. Lida Rose, I'm home again, Rose, without a sweetheart to my name. Lida Rose, now everyone knows that I'm hoping you're the same. So here is my love song, not fancy or fine. Lida Rose, oh, hope to be my Lida Rose, oh, Lida Rose, oh, Lida Rose.
Dream of now, dream of then, dream of our love song that might have been. Do I love you? Oh yes, I love you, and I'll bravely tell you. But it's only when we dream again. Sweet and low, sweet and low. How sweet that memory, how long ago. Forever, oh yes, forever. Will I ever tell you? I know.
Lida Rose, oh,
Dream of arguing with yourself? Won't you ever tell him? Won't you ever tell him? Ah, yes. Ah, No. Ah! Fiddlesticks! Just open your mouth and let it come out!
Now, Mama.
Now, nothing. If he ever comes to call again, you see him alone, and you haven't the gumption to tell him how you feel.
Tell him?
Well, there's nothing wrong with a lady like him.
Mama!
Winthrop, where have you been?
Fishing.
Fishing?
With Harold.
You mean Professor Hill?
Mm-hmm. And look, I still have some work left.
Did you have a good time?
Bumpus. He told me all about his hometown, Gary, Indiana. And he said he'd take me there someday. And he taught me a song that hardly has any S's in it. Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana. Let me say it once again. Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana. That's the town that knew me when. If you like to have a wonderful life when it gun, how it happened, all this elegant thing go begun. I will say without a moment of hesitation, there is just one place that can light my face. Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, not Louisiana, preference, New York or Rome. But Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, my home sweet home. If you like to have a logical life when it gun, how it happened, all this elegant thing go begun. I will say without a moment of hesitation, there is just one place that can light my face. Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, not Louisiana, preference, New York or Rome. But Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, my home sweet home. I have to show Amaryllis my live frog. La-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da, la-di-da, la-di-da.
Leave the dishes. I'll do them, Mama.
Don't you have to finish getting ready for the sociable?
There's time later.
Shin's around here somewhere?
The Shin home is on East Elm. This is West Elm.
Ah, crap. See, you have a piano teacher in town. You must have heard about this fellow Hill forming a kids' band here.
Yes.
Well, don't let it bother you no more. I got the goods on him in spades. Swindle and shoot it, Dimwarier. That's why I got to see Shin. I'm just passing through. Number 8 only makes a 15-minute water stop. Wish it was 20. Would sure like to concentrate 5 minutes on you, girl.
Are you?
Name's Charlie Cowell, ambulance salesman. But just now enough to protect the good name of the traveling fraternity from his swindling.
Mr. Cowell, you're making a big mistake.
Mistake my old lady's corset cover. That fellow's been raspberry seeding my wisdom tooth just long enough. He spoiled Illinois for me, and he's not going to spoil Iowa. Say, what kind of music teacher are you? You didn't see through him? He's no more professor.
I know all about that. Band leaders are always called professor. It's a harmless deception. He's a fine director in the scholastic...
No, wait a minute. Fine director. You heard one note of music from any band?
No, but...
But nothing, girly girl. Band in his life, and he never will.
If you just listen to me for a minute...
I'd like to. I'd like to do more than that. If I had the time. I sure got the inclination. But I gotta get back to that train, and I gotta leave this dynamite for somebody on the way to the depot. Bye, girly girl. See you next time through.
You'll never make the train at the depot. You'll have to catch it at the crossing.
No, sir. I've got to leave word, and I can see you ain't the one to leave it with.
Just a minute, Mr. Cowell. You don't know me yet.
Is that an invitation?
No, I mean I don't know you, and...
Yes, I need more time for it.
I mean as well as I'd like to.
No trouble there, girly girl.
I've never met a man who sells anvils before. That's something quite different.
It takes a real salesman. I can tell you that much. Anvils have a limited appeal. You know. What am I doing? I missed that train, I'll get fired. And I'm still gonna leave word about that fellow Hill.
Leave word with me.
Not on your tin side. How do I know you deliver these letters?
Try me.
There's your train, now run for it.
Why, you double-dicks little. Who do you think you're protecting? That guy's got a girl in every county of Illinois. He's taking it away from every one of them. That's 102 counties. Not counting the piano teachers like you he cozies up to, keeping their mouths shut. Neither one of you has heard the last of me, girly girls.
Ding dong ding, at the least suggestion of the question, Lina Rose, I'm home again, Rose, without a sweetheart to my name. Good evening, Miss Miriam. Lina Rose, now everyone knows that I am hoping you're the same. So here's my love song, not fancy or fine. Lina Rose, oh, won't you be my Lina Rose, oh, Lina Rose, oh, Lina Rose. That was just...
Marion, who is you talking to? Why, Professor Hill.
Mrs. Peru, top of the evening. Miss Marion.
You and Marion come up and said, I've got jelly on the stove.
There's no jelly on the stove, Mama.
Well, I'll put some on.
Shall we set, as your mother said?
Well,
You did ask me to call.
I didn't mean anything.
Now, Miss Marion, I'm not suggesting your invitation invert anything but academic enlightenment. The think system. I've been by your house a time or two this week to try and explain it to you, but there always seem to be people around. Mostly ladies, I thought.
Yes, Mrs. Squires and several of the ladies.
Well, I'm glad. Wouldn't want anyone beating my time. You wouldn't? No, ma'am? Well, it evidently isn't a convenient evening. See you at the sociable later.
Why, Professor Hill, is it true that you've had dozens? What I'm trying to say is,
Yes?
is it true that you've developed a think system?
A what? A think system. Well, it's really very simple. As simple as whistling. Nobody has to show you how to use your lips in whistling. You simply think a tune up here, have it come out clearly here. Now, just try this yourself before you get any questions.
I'll take your word.
Could we sit down?
Are all music teachers as dense as I am?
All music teachers?
I dare say you meet dozens, even 100.
Well,
Have they all been as fascinated with the think system?
Well, some more, some less. One young lady had thought the same system before I got to her town. She showed me a few refinements.
I see.
Have I said something wrong?
Oh, don't let me keep you, Professor Hill. You must have many more important things to do than explain the think system to me.
No, I can't think of one.
And I must be very dull company for a man of your experience.
Now say, where'd you get an idea like that?
One hears rumors of traveling salesmen.
Now, Miss Mary, you mustn't believe everything you hear. Well, after all, one hears rumors about librarians.
I suppose you're referring to Uncle Matty.
Uncle Matty?
Mr. Madison, my father's best friend. No matter what they say, he left me a sure job so Mother Winthrop and I would have some security. Surely you don't believe...
No, but that's exactly what I'm saying. Why do you think people start those rumors?
Narrow-mindedness, jealousy. Jealousy, mostly, I guess.
Exactly. And jealousy, mostly, starts rumors about traveling salesmen. What have you heard?
Nothing about you, personally, just generally.
What have you heard generally?
Just that. But I mean, it stands to reason that disappointment and jealousy, take you, for instance, your attention to customers and, well, teachers might be easily misinterpreted, mightn't they? Honestly, mightn't
Why?
And if a salesman or someone were to say something, they could be downright lies, couldn't they?
What could?
Rumors and things.
Well, of course.
And it just stands to reason that you can never believe everything anyone says if you discuss things.
Miss Marion, I would be delighted to discuss anything in the world with you. But couldn't we do it sitting down? You do sit, your knees bend and all.
We could sit on the porch steps.
Or we could sit on a large hollow log over at the footbridge.
I couldn't think of it. I've never been to the footbridge with a man in my life.
Just to talk.
I have to finish getting ready for the sociable.
Then meet me there in 15 minutes.
I just can't. Please, some other time, maybe tomorrow.
Oh, my dear little librarian. Pile up enough tomorrows, and you'll find that you've collected nothing but a lot of empty yesterdays. I don't know about you, but I'd like to make today worth remembering.
Oh, so would I.
The footbridge. 15 minutes.
15 minutes. Mama! What? I just told Harold Hill I'd meet him at the footbridge in 15 minutes.
Glory be and saints be praised. It works.
What does? I've been using the Think system on you since the parlor.
Hey, Greg. The uniforms have arrived. Most of the kids are in them already. People are going to be screaming for music once those kids show up at the sociable. Yeah. Here's most of the dough. I got Tommy to collect it. He has them together, at least. They're over at the lumberyard. All right, Mars, go get the wreath. I got it.
What time's the freight go?
9:45 from the junction.
Why, it isn't even 8:30 yet.
Okay, you want to turtle whirtle around here and get yourself caught in a buddy trap? Go ahead, but
Don't worry, Mars. I'll meet at the hotel in plenty of time. Miss Marion, you are late.
But you said 15 minutes.
Well, what I meant was, I'd say you're about 26 years late. Took you all this time to get to the footbridge with a fella.
If you wanted the truth, it was almost longer.
Oh?
Halfway here, I nearly turned back. I guess I'm not the first person to find it easier to think clearly when not under the spell of your salesmanship.
Now, Miss Marion, surely you don't think I've been selling you anything?
No, you've given me something. That's why I decided to come.
Well, I don't recall giving.
Oh, yes, you have. Something beautiful. That's why I decided to come, and I'm glad. Oh, don't think I expect much more. One knows a traveling salesman can't stay put. I know there will be many ports to call, and I know there will be many to come. But that does not mean I'm not grateful for what you've left behind for me.
Mary, I don't know what to say.
There were bells on the hill, but I never heard them ringing. No, I never heard them at all, till there was you. There were bells
There's a lot you don't know about me. Psst. Hey, Greg! Excuse me. I'm expecting a cable from Hector Berlioz. This could be it. Now what? She's the salesman here. Sounds like she's selling and you're buying. You nuts. I didn't know I was going to be able to leave tonight. I had to keep her off balance, didn't I? Well, I told you. Well, she's so far off balance, you can't tell her from a cat on a hurricane. Listen, Buster Brown, I've climbed up through the ranks on this skirmish, and I'm not resigning without my commission. But Greg, you can't get anywhere out here on this footbridge. There's a place over in Madison Park near the social that makes this place look like an old lady's home. Now beat it, go get the rig. Never a dull moment in the music business. Now, where were we?
You're about to tell me all the things I don't know about you.
Yeah, well, we don't have to get into that now, do we?
Or ever, for that factor. The librarian hasn't felt much like doing research lately, but you did plenty when you first came here.
Oh? About what?
About Professor Harold Hill, Gary Conservation, gold medal class of 05. Harold, there wasn't any Gary Conservatory of 05.
Why, there's certainly...
Because the town wasn't built till 06. I'll see you at the sociable.
You knew all the time?
Since July 7th, 3 days after you came. I tore this out of the Indiana Journal. It was intended to use against you, but now I give it to you, with all my heart.
But if you knew, why didn't you? Why, you little? Well, 110 cornets played the air. Then I modestly took my place as the one and only bass as I hooped up and down the square.
Good night, my someone. Good night, my love.
With 110 cornets right behind.
Our sky is shining its brightest light.
There were horns of every shape and good night, my someone. Good night, my love.
While 110 cornets played the air.
I wish I may, and I wish I might. Now good night, my someone. Good night. Greg, this guy's crazy. He's spilling it all over town.
I'll say I'm crazy. It's my train. I probably lost my job. Now I got you, Hill, and you'll pay. You'd have been in the clink right now had it been for that piano teacher. I tell her all about you, what you do. Lily gags me around until I couldn't get the shin. Little dried up man, hungry oxy, round heel.
Get out of here, I'll kill you, you dirty mouth.
You bully, you big blow-up. I'll stay in this town until you get yours up, down, through, and sideways. Why, you never even knew the territory.
Come on, Greg. I got the rig. I got your stuff. Let's go.
Two Grecian arms and a fountain. Trickle, trickle, trickle.
to this man!
You gullible green grass goats! Can't you get it through your heads and get swindled out of your IQ right now? This minute, there's a burglar in the bedroom while you're fiddling in the parlor. I'm talking about Harold Hill, road agent, highwayman, pickpocket.
Pickpocket?
Same thing. He's had taking your wallet, mister, and yours, madam, and yours, little lady. Ever since he first came to this town, there's more documented evidence than you'll ever have time to read. There isn't any band, never has been any band, there never will be any band. And if you don't hunt this man down right now like a mad dog, there won't be any Harold Hill either. He'll be on the next train out of town.
Now will you believe me?
Well, what are we waiting for?
I want my money back.
Money back, I want his hide.
After him, and when you find him, bring him to the schoolhouse. After him. Try the low road, look by the creek. Try the mill, back at the privy.
I've been looking all over for you.
I've been looking for Winthrop. He's run away. Go, Harold. They're talking about tar and feathers.
I had to see you, Mary.
You don't owe me a word. Not a word. Now go, please.
Oh, Greg! Not down this way, Tom, by the creek! Come on!
Winthrop!
Now, just a minute here, son.
I'm not your gun. Let me go.
No, not till I talk to you for a minute.
I won't listen. You wouldn't tell the truth anyway.
I would too.
Why not?
Would too. Tell you anything you want to know.
Can you lead a band?
No.
Are you a big liar?
Yes.
Are you a dirty, rotten crook?
Yes.
Leave me go, you big liar!
What's the matter? You wanted the truth, didn't you? No, I'm bigger than you and you're going to stand here and get it all, so you might as well quit wiggling.
Hi, Gregory.
There's two things you're entitled to know. One, you're a wonderful kid. I thought so from the first. That's why I wanted you in the band. So you quit moping around, feeling sorry for yourself.
What band?
I always think there's a band, kid.
What's the other thing I'm entitled to know?
Well, actually, the other thing isn't any of your business now that I think of it.
I wish you'd never come to River City.
No, you don't.
Thither, you believe him?
I believe everything he's ever said.
But he promised us.
And it happened all like he said. The lights, the flags, the colors, and the symbols too.
Where was all that?
In the way every kid walked around all summer. Especially you. And the parents too. Does Mama wish you never come to River City?
Well, you do, don't you?
No, I don't. Now go, Harold. Please.
Come on, Professor, hurry up.
I can't go, Winthrop.
Why not?
It's the first time in my life I got my foot caught in the door.
why I interrupted this program at this moment. Rest assured, this snake in our bosom would have been misapprehended by this point in time. Yes! And always remember, my fellow river citizens, I can only remind you that I did everything in my power to prevent this dire happening from, happening. 407.
Get our money back. Look, that's collected nearly $300 for uniforms just tonight.
And we haven't even seen them uniforms yet.
He's slippery. I told you.
I haven't seen any uniform for my boy either since just after supper.
He's a kidnapper.
Fine situation here.
4 and... Now, just a minute. Virtue has triumphed. The sword of retribution has cut down Professor Haroldale. And if there are those who are melting tar and collecting feathers, I will not say them nay.
Well, I think there ought to be some of you that can forget our Iowa stubborn chip on the shoulder arrogance long enough to remember River City before Harold Hill arrived. Do you remember? Well, do you? I think some of you ought to be grateful for what he's done in River City, and I think you ought to admit it.
You're wasting a great deal of time here. If there is anyone in this hall who doesn't think this man Hill shall be tarred and feathered, let them step forward. You lady, step back! And as for the rest of you, standing there like a coat of Shropshire sheep, have you all forgotten how you buy expensive uniforms, technical instruction books, and high-priced band instruments? Have you all forgotten the clear understanding and warranty that your kids will be taught to play in a band? Well, where's the band? Where is the band?
Oh, no, no. Think, kids. Think.
wanted to bring Mr. Dye to the stage, our wonderful stage manager, Mrs. Seva, and our director, Mrs. Brown.
So we would like to all thank Mr. Dye for helping create such an amazing pit orchestra. Without all of you, we wouldn't have this amazing track music. So thank you. Thank you so much.
We would also like to thank Mrs. Seva for all of her hard work. She really has inspired a lot of us to always put our best foot forward into this production. And we're so thankful for the beautiful sets that she makes year after year and for everything that she does for us. And we know that she cares about everyone so much. And no one can do what you do as well as you do. So thank you.
Don't worry, there is another gift coming. You have a t-shirt coming in the mail, but it kind of got delayed, so. Yeah, that darn Wells Fargo bank. So that gives you plenty of time to enjoy, to anticipate, to imagine, at no cost whatsoever.
And finally, we'd like to thank our amazing director, Ms. Brown. No one can do what you've done with this show. You've taught us all to love in theater and inspire us to give everything our all, just like you.
Words truly cannot describe how grateful we are and how much we love you, really. And thank you from the bottom of our hearts for giving us the gift of music. We absolutely love you. Isn't she amazing? Like, come on!
Just incredible. I would like to thank you all for coming out. Many of you, I know it was multiple nights, but this was a big jump for us this year, and what an incredible jump it was, and didn't they all do amazing? I love you all. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.